Good evening, everybody. Today, I think we're on. So, good evening, everybody. Today, I welcome the most glamorous lady here, Pooja Baby. She's an Indian actress. Well, nobody can forget that face for sure. She's been a columnist with Times of India, the Hindustan Times, midday newspapers, and has written many articles for La Official, Femina, and The Week. She's, of course, she's an alumni of St. Lawrence Sanar. She's now an entrepreneur and a founder of Happy Soul, and speaks on the importance of mental health and happiness. Happy Soul, of course. When you look at her face, you can make that out, that the smile and the beauty is from within, and it's not surface level for sure. It really isn't. And I can tell you that it requires so much strength that, hey guys, I'm in pain, to come out with it and say it loud. I mean, it requires tremendous energy and strength, I can tell you. Today, here she is. We welcome her on the platform CatFit. And my first question would be, my first question is that what came over you and what was the idea behind you coming on the platform and discussing mental health? It is such an important issue, especially nowadays. It is something we're all discovering, and we're all talking about it a lot more than we ever did.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. Firstly, hello, everybody who's listening in. It's wonderful to be here. I have some wonderful people again on this panel who are sitting with us, and I'm sure it's going to be a very engaging discussion. The idea, of course, is to always share. You share information, we share experiences, we share ideas, and we always look for solutions. It's very easy to talk about what's wrong, but I personally feel what is the most important thing is always to think of ways forward. So now what can we do about it, right? So I come from the world of wellness. If you go back my family history as well, my grandfather was a healer, a very renowned one. He has a monastery up in Italy, in Cittadella, which carries on his teachings many decades after he has passed away. My grandmother was a renowned Buddhist nun who rose to being a nun of the highest order under His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. There is a monastery that she founded, a nunnery in Trilokpur Dharamshala, where if you visit that incredible place that she built, and the kind of respect that she has, you'd understand why in my family there's such a history and legacy of love and compassion and healing and all the energetic sciences that basically combine together to make us these incredible human beings that we are, right? In addition to that, I would like to say that being a part of the world of wellness today in a more formal manner, not just in terms of my lineage, which also is wonderful because I'm the 18th direct descendant of Guru Nanak Sahib. And that again comes with the whole, I guess it's in your DNA. It's the way it's just things that translate through your entire being. So and also my mother, she was into philosophy and Osho and J. Krishnamurti. So I grew up, it's all about the mind at the end of the day. Martina Navratilova was once asked in her 40s how she maintained her game so beautifully. And she said, the ball doesn't know how old I am. And she also said, the game of life is not, the game of tennis is not played on the field, and neither is the game of life. It is played between the 6 inches between your 2 ears in your head. Everything that happens in our life is based on how we think and how we respond and how we react. Okay? So first thing we have to understand is everything lies here, right? Your reality is based on what is in here. So when we change what is in here, we change our reality that surrounds us. Okay, that is something very important for all of you to remember through this entire conversation. Secondly, I had a brother, Siddharth, who committed suicide at the age of 27. He was schizophrenic. So I can speak from experience, being a family member of somebody who has been diagnosed with mental health issues, as to what it is like for that family, what it is like for that individual who goes through, and he was a brilliant student. He was somebody who was studying computer sciences on the dean's list at Carnegie Mellon University. Extraordinarily bright kid and an amazing human being. So mental illness can strike anybody. There's no type. It's all about recognizing it and treating it. Back then, when he was 27, we're talking about almost 23 years ago. 23 years ago, it was he was 25 years old, and 23 years ago, there was very little known about mental illness. It was really stigmatized. At that point of time, there was a whole a massive degree of stigma associated with being mentally ill. And it's so tragic because only once Siddharth died, and we spoke very openly about it at that point of time, because if it happens to us, it should be known and some people can learn from it and people can share and grow from it, etc. And at that point of time, we had all these thousands of people, including friends, relatives, associates, all kinds of people coming up to us and telling us stories about their personal experiences with people who've had mental illness within their families, and that they'd kept it secret. And I couldn't understand for the life of me why they'd done so. It's not something you sweep under the carpet. It's very much like any other disease. If you have a liver problem, you'll go to a doctor. You have a heart problem, you'll go to a doctor. If you have a lung problem, you go to a doctor. If you have a brain problem, you go to the doctor. It's just another organ of your body and it needs help. And it's so strange that this whole concept of, oh, pagalpan hai, chupa do, and it's the most unnecessary damage that you're inflicting on that person, as well as your family, as well as your own situation. And it's cruel. It's cruel to everybody involved. And I'm so glad today mental health has developed to this point, with organizations and groups that have really made it their primary focus to change the way people view mental illness. And I think it's a great step forward that 23 years later, people are coming forward and speaking so openly and so proactively on the entire topic. Yes, the lockdown has been tremendous because a lot of people have faced a lot of their fears, a lot of their anxieties, and a lot has been uncovered during lockdown. And a lot of people have realized that there's a fine line between sanity and insanity, and how easily that can also be crossed. Being cooped up indoors, what happens to your brain? And again, we go right back to the brain, and what happens within this determines your reality, and what you do about it again shapes your reality.
That's true. How wonderfully said.
Very, very, very well brought out, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes. Mind matters, as you rightly said. I mean, that is in fact the logo of CatFit.
Okay.
If you read it, it says
Yes.
Mind matters. And that's been the case for the last 4.5 years. So you very well brought out the point. Now, ma'am, another question that I actually had in mind was mental, psychological, and emotional well-being. Everyone, wants to have it, but nobody wants to speak about it. Nobody wants to go to a professional. For the last 4.5 years, we've got a team of psychologists from the Army, Air Force Intelligence, Ministry of, HRD. And this team goes from schools to school, colleges, universities, where we put children through and students through a series of psychometric evaluations, psychological questionnaires, so that we can identify ones who are suffering from depression or stress or anxiety, etc. The problem, however, we are facing, for example, is, as you rightly said, when people talk about mental health, people talk about, oh, pagal hai. That is still prevalent in society, unfortunately, and that is why some top schools and colleges understand that, yes, we need to take, but most of the schools and colleges are slightly circumspect in taking up these kind of programs. So what is your message for those kinds of institutions and parents?
Okay, so firstly, there are various degrees of mental health. One is, of course, severe stress, anxiety, it leads into different zones and different situations, which can also accentuate and then lead into various other forms of greater mental health issues. And then, of course, there are those that are clinically diagnosed, like bipolarity or schizophrenia, depression, manic depression, etc. So firstly, you have to figure the different scales. Now, when you go from schools and colleges and you're doing sort of psychometric counseling in those places, essentially dealing with a bunch of very young kids and teenagers who are filled with a lot of angst, which is normal at their age, right? So at a teenage age and phase, it is extraordinarily normal to be ruled by your hormones and passions. So love is like everything, or an insult is like the worst thing ever, and those bad marks means life is over. And, it's very dramatic when you're in those years of your life. So coping skills is something that needs to be taught more than telling people, so, oh, there's something wrong with you. Oh my God, you're depressed. Oh my God, people don't like that being pointed out, especially not teenagers. They're in no mood to be told there's anything wrong with them. Everything, according to teenager, is wrong with the world, but not with them. Okay, so first you have to see where teenagers approach the world from. Secondly, what you need to do is to go out there and tell those teenagers that what you need are coping skills, because shit happens. So whether it's a love life today that's in jeopardy, or whether it's your marriage tomorrow that is in jeopardy, whether it's your marks today that are in a problem, or tomorrow at your work you're being pulled up for your lack of diligence in your workplace, shit will happen every step of the way. How you cope with it, that determines and defines your journey of life. Right? So what we need to start teaching those kids from school onwards, actually something that parents should be teaching their kids throughout the journey of their life, is coping skills. So for me, the very important part of bringing up my children was not to control them and decide what they should do with their lives, but to guide them and give them coping skills that no matter what happened to them in life, I may be there today, I may not be there tomorrow, right? So whether I'm there or whether I'm not there, that they're equipped to the skill sets necessary to deal with any situation, be it financial, be it personal, be it emotional, be it in any possible level. How do they deal with it? What takes them from strength to strength? When a wave comes, you have an option. You can ride the wave, or you can be crushed under the wave. You can choose to be a victim and say, "Mere saath kyun hua? Hey Bhagwan, mujhe kyun chuna?" and beat your chest. Or you can turn around and say, "All right, okay, shit happens. What am I going to do about it? Because I want my life to go from strength to strength. So what skill sets do I have, or what new approach do I need to adopt in this situation to take my life from strength to strength?" So say, for example, at the age of 27, when I was around 27, to the time I was around 32, a period of 4.5 years, I think I lost every possible support system I had in my life, because my nanny died, my dearest dog, pet owner knows how that is, my dog died, my brother committed suicide, my mother died, suddenly in a landslide. In the middle of this, I was having 2 children, and also I got divorced. And the man who raised me died, Jung, the man who seems now 6 months old and being like a father figure to me. So in a sense, I lost a father figure, I lost my mother, I lost my brother, I lost my granny, I lost my dog, I lost my husband, and I had 2 small children I was coping with, and practically no bank balance. I could have really turned around and said, "Hey Rabba, zindagi khatam ho chuki hai," and done the drama queen act and done a Meena Kumari and claim my right in the victim world. I could have very well done that. But I just turned around and said, all right, at some point, everyone's going to lose a parent. Everyone's going to lose a sibling. Everyone will go through hardships. Everyone's going to go through some form of problems. How do I look at it? Can I bring them back? No, I can't, right? My marriage was bad, so it broke up. So therefore, it should be something that takes you from strength to strength. And whichever relationship comes to me in the future, that should enable me to, again, go from strength to strength. I have 2 beautiful children. I can choose to be a victim, or I can choose to be a hero in their eyes and go from strength to strength and show them what it takes and show them that no matter what, you can rise up and move on with your life. And I did. And I was that role model for my children. And that's very important. You lead by example. Right? So at every point of time, everybody who's watching this program is going to be confronted with situations that seem Herculean, that at some point seem, oh my God, why me? But they have to realize that shit is not exclusive to them. Shit happens to everybody. It is everybody's story, right? Only thing that differs is how you respond to it. And that is the journey of you. Now, that is the skill sets that need to be imparted to children, to have a positive attitude, to have a headspace that says, take everything as a challenge, not as defeat. How to take every single thing as a way to find a solution. Not to crib about what happened, but say, all right, how can I change it? To also know that if they're doing the same thing over and over again, they cannot expect different results. To get different results, you have to do things differently. To keep an open mind, to be open to change. That's something so little people are open to. These are very important skill sets to be teaching children. At one point in time, school was all about rattofying all the knowledge that you could put into your head. That was the days we didn't have Google. Today we have Google. There's no reason that kids need to be cramming all that knowledge into their heads and being graded for something like that when they can just access it in 2 minutes on their Google, on a Google app. Right? We need to be teaching children different things today in school. So firstly, the school system itself is putting unnecessary pressure on those children without teaching them skill sets to cope with those additional pressures. And I think that is something we really need to sit and work with schools and institutions to put those systems in place for people, rather than saying, why did you create mental ill health, to turn and say, how can we help children cope with it?
Wow, that's fantastic. What you just said is such a fantastic thing, Pooja. And it's like an eye opener. I think what is important, where I was focusing, was the coping skills, which are so important, what you just spoke about.
Yeah.
I think actually, why me, karke, why do that? It is going to happen with everybody. And we are going to go like a roller coaster ride, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. But the only thing is you can wear a seat belt and just talk about it. We are all
Absolutely.
And you can't keep complaining. As you said, I mean, you went through so much in that time frame. It is unbelievable. I personally think you must have that, when you took things in your hand, they must have required so much strength to do so.
Yes.
And
we all have oceans of strength within us. It's just we're always told mat karo, chup raho, tum kuch samajhte nahi ho, we're always talked down at, unfortunately, by parents and by elders, and we don't realize how much strength we actually have. I was very lucky to have two parents that really empowered me to believe in me. It's not like they gave me anything apart from a sheer belief in myself, in my own courage, in my own convictions. They just put wind beneath my wings, but the wings were mine.
That's really fantastic. We need parents to understand this. I think it depends a hell of a lot on kind of the backgrounds that you're coming from. Because at times, sometimes your own people make you feel so shitty. They make you feel like, oh my God, you can't take another step, or you will not be able to do it. It's that kind of negativity that comes into them that they share onto you with you. And that's exactly what you start feeling from within. And if you have parents who keep telling you that, yes, you can do it and you will do it, you will automatically see that there is a change in your own self. And the minute you start to accept that, it is going to transcend in a very beautiful, in a more positive fashion. When we talk about, like we talk about suppose like Bhutan, if I take an example, it believes in the GDP is in the happiness. Okay. And you are a celebrity, you know that best. I mean, do you think actually that life is such a race where the materialistic kind of life is actually leading to a lot of depression?
Okay, firstly, I have no issues with money. I love money and I love making money. And money buys, if people say money doesn't buy you happiness, I'm like, really? When you have that trip to France and you're experiencing that incredible Parisian food in the cafe, tell me if that doesn't make you happy. If you're traveling,
I love you for this. Who doesn't like the smell of money?
Why are we deluding ourselves? Why are we being, oh, money doesn't matter? Oh, materialism. Hello, excuse me, it's very important. When your children are, needing good medical care or assistance, your parents need it, money comes in handy. When you're looking at a great restaurant, you want to go eat in there, tell me it doesn't fill your heart with happiness to see beautifully presented food. When you want to buy something beautiful, tell me it doesn't make your heart happy to have that dress. Yes, maybe it doesn't last a long time. Maybe the happiness sometimes lasts a day, sometimes a month, sometimes a year, but it made you happy for the day. It made you happy for the month. It made you happy for the year. Would you rather cry in a bus or cry in a Mercedes car? The choice is yours. you're going to cry anyway at some point in your life. Nobody's cry free. Money doesn't guarantee you happiness, but neither does poverty. So let's not glamorize let's not unglamorize the whole material aspect of life. It's very important to have money. However, chasing money, keeping up with the Joneses, losing your personal identity, sacrificing what you really love, who you really want to be, in pursuit of creating an image for people, that is destructive because you're painting a picture that you yourself don't believe in. So that aspect of running behind money, as you may call it, only to prove a point to other people, that is one of the most destructive things people have ever done to themselves. And thank God for the lockdown. I'm serious. It has pressed a gigantic reset button for so many people who suddenly were tossed out of jobs, or had to downsize their lives and suddenly turned around and said, hang on a second, what was I doing? And they've taken a look around them, and whether it's been the relationships in their life, they've turned around, either bettered really bad relationships because they were stuck indoors with them, or they've turned around and recognized that they were in stale and dead relationships and don't want it in their lives anymore. or they've turned around and said, why am I living in this pokey little apartment, chasing a job I don't even like? I'm out of this job. You know what? When I reapply, I'm going to apply for a job I really love. And I don't mind downsizing my life by going to a 2-tier city or moving to another place altogether and getting a bigger home with a garden and some space and be able to breathe and have a quality of life. Because at the end of the day, I'm so busy chasing something. I'm not smelling the roses along the way. I'm not enjoying the quality of life. And by the time you're 60 or 70 and your children have grown up and you paid for their schooling and you paid for their expenses and you paid for their marriages and you start paying for your own medical bills, and all this stuff, you're stuck in this rut of where do I enjoy my own life, and that's when the major frustration falls into the place, right, into the picture. So it's been a great reset button for a lot of people who've turned around and said, what was I doing? And I want my life to be different. And today they've been empowered to make that choice because of the sheer shutdown, lockdown, change your attitude, sort of a diktat almost that was shoved in their faces. So I see the lockdown as being incredibly positive on a bigger picture for a lot of individuals. Yes, maybe it's bad for the economy. Maybe it's really terrible for certain people who've obviously had a really hard time, getting a square meal a day. And it's been really tragic for people who've lost their lives, either due to the illness or the repercussions of COVID that have caused them to lose their jobs, careers, livelihoods, etc., causing to a loss of life or health and things like that. So yes, but it's been a dramatic shakeup on all levels. And I think what's most important for people to know is that the journey of life is about you, right? You have come here to experience this beautiful journey. Make the most of it. We're so busy chasing what we've been told once again in school. Ye bano, wo bano, ye karo, waisa karo, aise bano, aise type ke insaan bano, aise type ke kaam karo, aise kamao, waise kamao. We've been so busy told by society, we've forgotten our spiritual purpose, which is actually, to come here and have a human experience. And all that we do is we stress ourselves out. And once we stressed ourselves out completely, everyone starts saying, I'm going into spirituality and I'm going to do yoga and I'm going to be very spiritual in my life. And they have this ego kind of attitude. And I'm like, I meet all these people. I'm like, one minute. Firstly, a spiritual person is devoid of ego. So if you're wearing your spirituality as some sort of ego badge, please know you've destroyed the whole purpose of being spiritual in the first place. You're not superior to someone because you've gone into spirituality, because there's no spirituality, firstly. Secondly, what's most important is for you to realize we are not human beings seeking a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings who've come here for a human experience. Enjoy your human experience. Enjoy it all. It's like we're talking about a roller coaster, right? You sit on a roller coaster and you buckle your seatbelt, right? And you're going up this roller coaster and you're yay, very excited, you go running up, yay, and suddenly that plunge comes and you scream. You're like, ah! And you scream. You're really frightened and all this stuff, right? But you're still enjoying the ride, correct?
Right.
So same thing with life. When you go through your ups, you're damn happy. When you're going around the bends and twists and turns of life, you're like, whoa, they're so exciting. And then when you're going downhill, you're screaming in fear, but it's also accompanied by a sense of thrill. And you should have that same attitude through life, because that's going to happen to you irrespective. You will have ups, you will have downs, you will have bends, you will have twists and turns and all of this. And that's the journey of beautiful life that you've chosen to come down as a spiritual being to have this experience. Learn your lessons, achieve your dreams, fuel your passions, enjoy the journey. It's really so simple, and all we do is complicate it. It's so sad.
That's such a thrill thing. I swear, what you said is so beautiful.
Journey of life. I don't know about the journey of life. The journey of this webinar so far has been so vibrant with so much energy. I've never. It has the energy of several webinars put together. And I've been on webinars since morning. And it was like, an atomic explosion of energy here. I mean, the best I liked about was that materialistic, where do you want to be? Poverty also has, the same aspects. So coming back, man, it's apparent that mentally you're strong, emotionally you are happy. So if you could just share, what are the ways you keep yourself mentally strong and emotionally happy? One. And two, how can others benefit and probably have 10% of this energy? I mean, really.
Okay, so I think what's most important, firstly, to recognize why you're on this planet. Okay, firstly, okay, you're not a victim. Okay, other people don't make your choices, you make your choices. Okay, firstly, very importantly, please acknowledge one thing very clearly in your life. If you blame others, wherever you are in life today, if you blame others, you feel angry. If you blame yourself, you feel guilty. If you blame universe, karma, lockdown, you feel helpless, right? At the end of the day, your choices are yours. Whatever you have in your life today, from the clothes you wear, to the people you surround yourself with, to the way your home looks, to the jobs you've taken, to the person you married, to the kids you chose to have, every single thing is a result of your choices. So firstly, accept the fact that your life today is the result of your choices. Some people say, no, but my mother chose my husband for me. I'm like, yes, but you allowed your mother to choose your husband for you. There are many people who've chosen not to do so and chosen to walk away from their homes and lead their lives and have another path, right? You're never helpless. There's a girl who was pushed off a local train. This is a true story. Girl was pushed off a local train. She fell below the train. She lost her legs. She turned around. She didn't cry and say, oh my God, I've lost my legs. My life is over. Who'll marry me? Who'll this, who'll that? She just turned around and said, there's a reason I'm still alive. And there's a reason I'm still alive. And you know what? I'm going to climb Mount Everest. And she did. So anything is possible. Firstly, if you set your mind to it, it doesn't matter where you're from. You could be somebody traveling in a local train. You could be somebody who has a private jet. Makes no difference. Your state of mind is your own. Your life is a result of your choices. Firstly, accept full responsibility for wherever you are in life today and say, if I want a better life, I have to learn to make better choices. Okay, that's step number one. Number two, very importantly, the power of gratitude. Please don't underestimate ever the importance of gratitude. In terms of what you put out there, what you receive as a result of it, and also what you experience internally when you experience gratitude. Now, a lot of people say, how can life sucks, this happens. And I'm like, you know what? Just sit down at night and make a list. Just put 5 things or 3 things that you're grateful for in the day. Anything. It could be the fact that you had food on your table. It could be the fact that you had a fantastic meal, an incredible dish. It could be the fact that you have parents. A lot of people don't have their parents alive with them. It could be the fact that you have a friend who you can talk to. It can be the fact that you can afford to go out there and do something with your life. It could be the fact that you had an education. It could be the fact that you have someone who loves you. It could be anything that you have to be grateful for. Somebody gave you a compliment. Anything and everything. Just write down even 3 things. There's no way on earth you have 3 things you can't be grateful for in a day. If you just look around you, you start recognizing it. First thing, recognize the good around you. We're so busy always looking for fault, looking at the problems, going on and on whining about what's not happening in our lives. We forget to really take a good look at what is happening in our lives and what we should be grateful for, what we have accomplished, what we have experienced, what we have got going for us currently, which sometimes other people don't. That beautiful quote, I cried because I had no shoes till I saw a man who had no feet. Right? Yeah. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. So write that gratitude journal firstly. Write the points every day and don't look back. Write it, keep writing. Write it, next day, keep writing. Next day, again, write. Next day, again, write. Next day, again, write. And at the end of 1 month, turn back to page 1 and do a review of the entire month. And you'll be so overwhelmed with all the things you had to be grateful for that you just turn a blind eye to because you're so busy focusing on what you didn't have. Right? So that's one. The second most important thing. Third thing, please get yourself some passion, okay? Whether it's love, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a business, whether it's adventure, whatever it is, go out there and get yourself a passion, okay? Do something that makes you want to get up in the morning, something that doesn't let you sleep at night, okay? Find yourself that thing. Now you're so busy playing the rut game, as I call it, in a rut. Ruts are monotonous. Ruts are boring. Boredom leads to sadness, leads to frustration, leads to anxiety, and you put yourself into that horrible spin. So start with finding whatever fuels you. And first find it and go for it. That's the first most important thing. Make time for it because it is your passion. So find your passion, most importantly, right? Whether it's writing, whether it's singing, or whether it's singing in the bathroom for all you know. Just find your passion and do it every day. Fill yourself with it, right? It could be something stupid according to you, or it could be something meaningful according to you. It doesn't matter. Find it and do it. You will be amazed what happens in the brain. Thirdly, fourthly, there's something called happy hormones. okay, which are triggered in our brain. So basically, we have endorphins, we have serotonin, we have dopamine, and we have oxytocin. These are the four happy hormones that are stimulated in our brain that give us the feeling of happiness, right? Whenever these hormones are released is when you experience that feeling, oh, I'm so happy, right? So what releases these happy hormones? Exercise, sunshine, eating foods filled with tryptophan like chocolates and things like which appeal to the sensory nervous system. There is, for example, there's aromatherapy that stimulates your limbic system and releases different hormones in your brain. You have hugs, kisses, sex, all these things stimulate oxytocin. Hugging a pet, right? Stroking a dog, exercise, yoga. There's so many ways. Just Google how to release endorphins, how to release oxytocin, how to release serotonin, how to release your dopamine. Figure ways to do that because it's really so simple to release those happy hormones in your brain. The instant quick fixes, instant pick-me-ups that you can experience, which is very, very important. So I'm going to leave you with these few tips for now. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much happy info.
Pooja, I'm so happy just listening about chocolates and wine and, all the things that you're passionate about that you can do. I think that's a beautiful meaning to life. And of course,
music.
Being thankful, like saying thank you, universe, every day is such a beautiful thing. Because we don't even realize that universe keeps giving us small things in small doses and we do not even appreciate it while we have it. What I realized is when I was introducing you is that you're a founder of the Happy Soul Project. Just reading it just made me so happy. I really want to know more about it.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I come to this lineage of really interesting people that sort of brought a lot into my life through various forms through my growing years. And my curiosity always gets the better of me because I love exploring and I love new realities and I love trying new things. And I've done a lot of courses in all these various meta sciences over the last 12 years. So whether it's been Reiki or whether it's been Usui and Karuna Reiki or shamanism or Heal Your Life or Soul Temple or Magnified Healing or Neuro-linguistic programming, which is the science of how our brain works, to various forms of psychotherapy, to also doing courses in the conscious mind, the subconscious mind. I've done clinical hypnosis, I've done behavioral resolutions, and I've really explored the human conscious and subconscious mind to a great degree. And I started doing a series of workshops in 2016 for various companies and corporates and organizations like Fikiflow or EO and YFlow and corporates around the country, and just empowering them with all this knowledge through PowerPoint presentations and through guided meditations and through audio visuals, and showing them how incredibly powerful their minds were and how we are only victims of our mind, and not just showing them that how trapped they are within their confines, but how to actually overcome that, how to actually start the journey of moving forward from it, and how they can empower themselves and empower their lives. And what you vibrate at is what you attract, and teaching them the science combined with the meta science of us, basically, which therefore translates into your journey of life. So I started that whole journey. It was really fascinating. And it was incredible to see how people's lives are transforming. And when you have, the kind of access I have to the kind numbers of people who I've communicated with and done these workshops for, we're talking about thousands of people. And you can see that their lives are changing. And that too within sometimes half an hour, that people come to me and say, Pooja, how did you do that? Is it magic because this happened and that happened? I'd say, it's not magic. It's simple science. It's the science of your brain and how your brain works. And when people sort of experience that and they're almost in shock because it seems magical to them, it's not magic. It's just simple science. It's the science of you. And I suddenly realized how powerful all these modalities were and how little people knew about them, and how effectively we could help change people, change their lives for the better, and so easily. So then I said, all right, let me start a platform devoted to wellness, which not only has healers and therapists that people can have access to, because how many people really have access to me? I can't, and there are many people out there, people don't know about them. So let me make wellness something which is a part of everybody's life as a lifestyle. So whether it's the way you eat, whether it's the way you think, whether it's the way you dress, whether it's respect for the environment that you live in, whether it's sustainable, whether it's ecological, whether it's eco-friendly, whether it's the chemicals that you put onto your skin that damage you. Our skin is the second largest organ of our body if you count the surface area. And, the amount of products that we put, which are chemical and sulfates and parabens that we apply within our shampoos and our soaps and our creams, it's so harmful for our systems. We're constantly absorbing through the layers of our skin into our bloodstream and, into our system, into our lymphatic glands and all of that. So it's really important for us, to be good and kind to ourselves first. We don't realize how much damage we're doing to ourselves without even intending to. You think, oh, I'm smelling great. Oh, I'm looking great. You don't realize you're really causing some serious long-term damage. So let's, and then again, that leads to unhappiness the moment you're sick, you're ill, you have cancers, you have all of this. You run and say, oh, my life is, in the space. So let's start from the root. Let's start from the base and say, all right, let's make wellness a lifestyle. Let's introduce people to finding products, firstly, that are good for them. So products feature on our website. So it's like, okay, you can have products here on this website that are really good for you. When you come to Happy Soul, there won't be a single product with a chemical in it, right? And these are not our products only. These are also products from the best vendors across the country. So you have the best of India. It's like a whole Make in India, Be Indian, Be Proud Indian, look what incredible work all these lovely Indians are doing. We have the best of them showcased on our platform. Food that is organic that you're putting into your body. So not just what you're putting on your body, what you're putting into your body. We have candles because, again, that's another sensory thing where you inhale. A lot of people think, oh, I'm doing lemongrass candle. It's very good for me. It's good. It'll uplift me. But all that they're doing is smelling in the paraffin because the base is a paraffin candle. So on Happy Soul, we have only soya wax candles, vegetable wax candles, beeswax candles, infused with essential oils. So then what you're inhaling is actually a wellness experience. So whether it's home decor, whether it's yoga mats, exercise gear, everything to do with your physical well-being. In addition to that, since we're talking today about mental health, there's a lot of therapists who are available on our website. So say you're from another city and you wish to find a psychotherapist in your city, you wish to find an NLP practitioner in your city, you wish to find a Reiki master in your city, you just go to Happy Soul, and whoever's listed with us who has good credentials, and we're really assured that they're good quality practitioners, they will be featured on our website. You will find somebody who can actually take your journey in life forward, who can fill you with different ways to be happy and positive and mindful, or they're sound bowl healers and they're chakra balancing people, and it's phenomenal what's out there in the world of energy healing. So that's one aspect as well. Then there's travel. So many of us love to travel. We go for a holiday, come back from a holiday, say, I need a holiday to recover from this holiday. It's like, so I say, here's a list of great holidays. We can go spa holidays, meditation holidays, detox holidays, adventure holidays, eco-friendly holidays. Choose your type of holiday. So if you visit our website, that's one aspect of it. So basically my whole intention, if there are workshops, so there are great workshops happening around you, people sometimes say, actually, let me try. It never hurts to try something that could benefit you. So get on the website, find a great workshop that, that's happening around you in your area. And voila, go attend it, whether it's belly dancing, whether it's Zumba, whatever it takes to, to get you thinking in a different direction, to pick up your spirits, to help shape your life in some manner. And then there's a website, and then we also have a retail venture. So we have a whole retail space, and that is open to a franchise model. In addition to that, we then have many verticals of Happy Soul opening up. We've got our own production lines. We're producing our own candles, our own incense, our own massage oils, our own stuff. So that's completely, again, natural, organic, blended. We're going to have our own range of spices. So I'm very excited about my corporate journey, my new avatar as an entrepreneur. So apart from all the zillion other things that I do.
I'm just simply loving it. I know for sure.
I'm sure, Shefali, you are hitting the Happy Soul project next.
It should be.
I'm already thinking, what all can I go tick, what all can I go buy from there, what all can I get from there? Because by now Arpan knows that the kind of stuff I like, now I know it's going to be available only in Happy Soul platform.
It's available everywhere, but we're a one-stop shop. We aim to be a wellness wonderland. So it's like you enter our wellness wonderland and you'll find everything that will get you there.
Yeah, I think I'm already, actually you told this whole idea to me. I'm loving
she's
it.
Flown from,
Thank you.
She's just flown from Gurgaon to Maldives, and I think she's flying back now.
Yeah, I think
you have to fly back from Maldives now.
Yeah. true.
You just flew.
That's true. I think I'm already so intrigued by all this lovely candles. And, I could feel that thing coming to me. I love candles.
Looking at your face, I know you're... It's a sold project is
every
done.
candle, every candle is so interesting. It's like, you have kaffir lime, which is immunity boosting. Everything affects your limbic system, right? So it's like you have lavender. People are stressed, anxious, depressed, feeling, very stressed. All they have to do is just light an essential oil soya wax candle. It's incredible what it does to your system. It's incredible. You sit there, you light it, you take 3 deep breaths, and you just see what happens to you. The power of aromatherapy is phenomenal. And not just for relaxation and de-stress. If you want to uplift your mood, if you want sensuality to enter your system, you want to evoke sexual desire, there's so many reasons you can use an essential oil candle. And use essential oils itself in massage therapies, for example. Once again, for state of mind, for upliftment, relaxation, positivity, mood enhancers. There's zillion things for coughs, colds, ailments, headaches, menstrual cramps, name it. There's something for everybody in that world of healing. It's really, really magical.
I really feel it. I've entered that magical land. A couple of weeks ago, I was not feeling well. So this Arpan would give me all the kinds of ideas. Ma'am, you must have coconut water every day. Go get this, go get that. Now, Arpan, if I'm not well, you know exactly which platform to go on to. Send me those candles. Be a good soul, okay? The whole idea of us being on this program is so you know where my next birthday gift is coming from.
All right, send us your dress.
No, I'm telling Arpan. Arpan should know that.
No, but your birthday is just gone. Mine is coming, so I know who's gifting me my next happy soul, journey.
Pooja, this is so fantastic.
So, coming back from a model to an actress to a newspaper columnist to an entrepreneur now. So 2 parts. Firstly, what next? And secondly, how can people, follow your footsteps to remain permanently happy? Or in bliss, actually. It's not happiness. I can see you're in bliss. It's a different
She's glowing,
state
and it's
of mind
not just
altogether.
external. It's all internal that's coming out. I can tell you that.
Well, let's just put it this way.
Yeah.
Everyone generally
glowing
talks about
is an understatement. You can, this vibrancy is.
आज तुमने देखा मैंने अपना फेवरेट क्वेश्चन भी नहीं पूछा अर्पण कि मेरे ऊपर लाइट आ रही है कि नहीं आ रही है. आज सारी लाइट यहाँ से आ रही है.
So a lot of people, when they talk to me about my roles, they mainly talk about my professional journey. And I always have to remind them, excuse me, this is my human journey, which means I'm also a mom. I'm also a fiance. I'm also a friend who, by the way, is those 3 a.m. friends that people call up at all odd hours to say, this is going wrong in my life and I need help. And I'll be like, now what happened? How can I help? And thank you for disturbing my sleep yet again. But it's a pleasure to be able to be there for people and to be there for friends and to be that go-to person. I think everybody needs that. And I also like to tell everybody, a lot of people have this attitude of stay away from negative people, surround yourself only with positive people. Right? Everyone says that all the time. And I say, no, that's so cruel, because who is a negative person? A negative person is somebody who's in pain and somebody who's suffering. And therefore, if you're sort of pushing aside and casting aside a person who has negativity and in pain, you're amplifying their journey and their pain and their sadness and their grief or their anger. Okay? So also, most importantly, why is it that we assume that being around negative people inflicts it on us? Why can't we turn around and say, hang on, I'm the positive one. I will go there and affect that person with my positivity. Why do you automatically believe that negativity is greater than positivity? I always enter a space and any very negative person, I say, oh, good, let me go make him positive now. All right, let's do it, Pooja. Walk at the person. How's your day going? And there's always a way to make a person smile, and there's always a way to make a person feel better, and there's always a way to add sunshine in somebody's gloomy day. So be that person. Don't be the person that shuns aside a person who needs help. Be that person who adds a little sunshine into their lives. It's very important. Yeah. So because we all have the ability to do so, especially if you're in a good space, help people come up. Yeah, very important. So apart from being a friend, and I'm a pet owner, and I write columns, and I've now started web series. I don't know if you all have watched Masaba of mine on Netflix, and then right now Z5 Comedy Couple just released. I've been approached by a couple more OTT platforms to come and feature in some of their web series. In addition to that, of course, I've got my Happy Soul, which is now gearing to start wellness centers next year now that the COVID lockdown is pretty much over. So looking forward to starting our wellness centers, our wellness festivals, we want our wellness awards. There's so many things we actually want to gear ourselves up for and head towards in this coming 2021. A lot of people said, 2020 has been a really crap year and a really bad year and can't wait for it to get over. But I can say every single person on this planet has achieved a lot in 2020. It does not have to be professional, but everyone has reviewed their relationships. Everybody has reviewed life. Everyone has reviewed their finances. Everyone has reviewed their spending. Everyone's reviewed their purpose. Everyone has renewed their passion. Everyone has made time for themselves, made time to do the things that they always said, I will do it when I have the time. Well, they had the time. And they found what they wanted to do with that time in every possible way. Yes, it's been frustrating, but it's taught you a lot about yourself. It's taught you about your journey. It's taught you about your strength. It's taught you about your coping skills or the lack of them. It's taught you a lot about what you need to add into your lives. It's taught you a lot about, what is the journey forward. It's taught you a lot about priorities. And I think that is a huge learning curve for us as humans who got really trapped in a really frenetic rat race and a rut and keeping up with the Joneses and this whole push that we were all given towards technology and being insular and all of that. Suddenly people just turned around and really wanted the outdoors. They really wanted to go out and meet people. And suddenly they really wanted to go out there and have human connection. And suddenly they really wanted to go out there and have meaningful relationships. I think that's really beautiful.
Wow. That was quite a thing, Pooja. I actually don't have much to ask you because you have conveyed everything so beautifully. No, what was very nice is because it's coming from your heart. There is no effort. There is no facade. You don't have to sound good. You are good. And you don't have to, pretend to be something because you are who you are. And that is so beautifully, I think, कहते हैं ना जिंदगी में आपको बहुत कुछ सिखा देता है टाइम. जब आपका टाइम टफ था, that was the time when you struggled from actually becoming, if I may say, from being a caterpillar to a butterfly. And that's when you got your beautiful wings. And when that happened, everything just changed. And when, there's so many people who will fidget it and think, they'll rectify it for you, but it never happens. I always tell so many people out there that, all the answers are from within. They will come and we will manage and we will sail beautifully. But it's your attitude that keeps you going. And I can see that, Pooja, that the kind of positivity, the kind of positive attitude you have, कोई चांस ही नहीं था कि तुमको कोई बीट कर पाएगा. तुमने तो उसकी ऐसी ढिलाई करके.
No, but I have this theory that your greatest tormentor is your greatest teacher. So, you must really thank that person because they push you into knowing what you want and who you are and your reserves of inner strength. And I really, when you study the conscious mind, you study like clinical hypnosis and behavioral resolutions. And, when even you go into your past lives and interlives and, all of that, it's very interesting when you study the journey of the souls and you see that every person who comes into your life challenges you to be a better version of you. And those people who've been your greatest tormentors are actually your greatest teachers. And you should actually thank them and feel sad that they had to play that unfortunate role in order for you to become your best. And you should feel sad that they in some way had to be there for you to reach your potential. So I think you have to look at even that very positively.
Said. I agree with you. I think that was beautifully said. Now, definitely, it's almost time to wind up the program. So I would want you to give your closing comments regarding mental, psychological, and emotional health.
All right. Well, everybody out there who's been watching this, I'm sure you've got a lot of tips by now. I'm sure you've learned a lot. I'm sure you've laughed a bit. And I'm sure that you're ready somehow in some way post this discussion to actually sit down and review your life and say, that was interesting. All right. So how can I change the way I look at things and how can I change the way I shape my life? Or, how can I possibly take my journey of life from strength to strength simply by changing my attitude? Well, there are a lot of books you can read. There are a lot of internet sites you can explore. The journey of you begins with curiosity. right? Be curious. When you were kids, you were so curious. You wanted to see everything. You wanted to know everything. And we all look back and say, our childhood were the best years of our lives. They were the best years of your life because you were doing what you wanted to really do. You were curious. You were excited. You were passionate. Every time somebody said something, you were like, yeah, I want to do it. You know, every time somebody said, let's go here. Yeah, let's go there. Little lollipop made you so happy. If you were crying about something and somebody showed you something nice, in 2 seconds, you'd forgotten about what you were crying about. You're suddenly very happy, right? You know, hold on to, I was crying because of that. You're suddenly very happy. So, you know, learn from that child in you. You know, where did that child disappear? It's so sad when you see this beautiful, creative, excited, passionate, vibrant little children, and you see this saddu, old, depressed, sad people. You know, like, when did that turn into that? You know, like when did that take place? You know, and so I always tell everyone, please nurture your inner child, right? And for those people who feel they've lost that connection, well, find that connection with your inner child, because that inner child is going to keep you so happy through the rest of your life, because you and that inner child are one and the same person. You suppressed that child and told it, shut up, don't speak, don't this. You tried to put it down so many times, or you tucked it away because you're frightened. You thought your inner child would get hurt, or you thought, you know, you want to protect yourself. So you put up a brave front and a tough front and a this and a that and face life, and I'm hardened now. Bullshit. There's a soft inner child in you that's talk to me. You know, I want to say, I want to do. So let that child free. Set free your inner child. That's very important. And please, make yourself matter. This is your journey. We've always been told, for all the women out here, दूसरों का सोचो, दूसरों के लिए करो, खुद गर्ज मत बनो, खुद का मत सोचो. You know, all these thoughts that have been drilled into our minds. I'm sorry. This is your journey, right? Make this about you. You matter. The concept of me time. Do not feel guilty about doing things for yourself. If you are strong, you can make other people strong. When your well is full of water, other people can drink from it.
Absolutely.
If you are positive, you can spread positivity, right? You're going to sit there saying, ठीक है, मैं जीऊंगी, दूसरों के लिए जीऊंगी, मर मर के जीऊंगी, लेकिन you have no help to anybody, okay? So go out there and get a life, get your vision, get your personality, invest back into yourself, be good to yourself, love that inner child, right? All of you out there, liberate yourselves. It's just here. It's all in your mind. Free yourselves.
So yippee! Let's make sure let's get our child out. You know, Arpan, you better not get
liberate yourself. And I mean, from the beginning till now, I had so many questions and they just flew off, and they were like, okay. She was there, even before I could ask something, she was like 3 steps ahead of us. So we were always playing catch up to the end. So, very vibrant session, very enthusiastic, and it was so passionate. I mean, it's almost an hour now, and it was supposed to be 40 minutes. That is what happens when you have those sessions which are enjoyable. And, you never want these sessions to end. I don't want it to end, but I understand that everyone has time constraints.
Really enjoyed it.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
it's
my
been
takeaway
wonderful.
from this
Thank
is,
you for
if
having
your
me.
well is... No, ma'am, it was a pleasure having you. And what we've learned is, if your well is full, only then can you make other people drink something from it. And amazing journey that you've had. Tough times, but the way you've looked at that problem. We always, we've got a set of trainers from the Army, NSG, Special Forces, and we keep telling people it's the mind that matters. And here you are, you're going to be teaching us, I guess. And Shefali and me, we have, at some point of time, I think we are coming over for that happy soul and that contagious, laughter. And this was supposed to be about mental health. And we've laughed our way through for 1 hour. I wonder if we have a webinar with her called Laughter. What are we going to be doing then?
Well, it's called Happy Soul, and I've done these online webinars for lots of companies and groups and social organizations, and these webinars are super powerful. So maybe one day we'll do an online webinar as well.
Wow.
Which involves PowerPoint presentations and guided meditations and all about understanding your brain, understanding your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and things like that. Fingers crossed. Never know when our paths cross next.
Absolutely. And I'm sure they will. They will.
Absolutely.
Great.
So on that note, a happy note, thank you so much to Pooja Bediji and Shefali for taking out time in the evening today. I know it's a busy time and late in the evening, family time, but still you've managed to find time for us. And there you are, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most vibrant sessions we've ever had. Good evening for finding time to listen to The happiness quotient, you've seen what happiness is. Go find it for yourself. The tips have already been given. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind.